Here is why I have spent $20,000 on attorneys. This is why I'm asking for your assistance with attorney fees. Take it back to Super Bowl Sunday. On February 9th, 2025, a judge signed an arrest warrant. Here's the reason a judge signed an arrest warrant. This arrest warrant included a full extradite. Detective said I made a great decision getting attorneys to accelerate the process. Because when someone's wanted, they're wanted until they have police contact. And that makes me vulnerable if this person isn't arrested, because this person is still harassing me and has a group of people harassing me, which brings in another group of individuals. A group of individuals were making false police calls, false CPS calls, false SWAT calls. Fictitious stories were made to law enforcement. My safety was at risk, and all of this harassment was making it impossible for me to live in peace. So I signed a contract with attorneys who collected evidence and facts and put all of the evidence into a chronological timeline, and my attorneys put together legal packets. Each legal packet costs close to $10,000 because each legal packet requires correspondence between courts and government agencies. On Thursday, April 3rd, I paid up what I owed in the invoice that was sent to me from my attorneys. It was close to $13,000. I paid 2 invoices. I was all paid up. All the legal packets were finalized. Friday morning, really early, all of the legal packets were submitted to all of the government agencies because my attorneys were advocating for me by going after these individuals criminally. One has already been detained, and while they're detained, they're waiting to be extradited. The problem is, and here's why I put a GoFundMe together, is that I've already spent $20,000 on attorneys who have helped put together a strong case for me against individuals. And if I want my attorneys to be present in court, I have to keep paying them thousands of dollars. Attorneys are not cheap. And you have to remember, each individual involved amounts to about $10,000 each. I've already spent $20,000. You do the math. If you go after someone civilly, it's like $20,000 per person. So if I were to have chosen to go after a group of individuals civilly, that would have been like $60,000. Since they're breaking the law and committing crimes against me and my family, we chose to go after them criminally, federally. But for my attorneys to continue advocating for me, I have to keep paying them, and that is thousands of dollars. And there is a court date. There are 2 court dates this month involving 2 separate individuals. One is a court hearing for the person who has been detained for making fictitious calls to law enforcement, etc., some of which include terroristic threats and swatting. The other court hearing is against an individual who filed a fraudulent complaint, filed a petition online for a restraining order. It was denied. And when it was denied, I believe this person, in my opinion, it looks like they appealed it. So the court is holding a hearing. That case alone will cost me close to $5,000. When you're going into a courtroom and the court is over state lines, it's thousands of dollars. Even when court is right here where I live, it's thousands of dollars. Please stop spreading rumors and lies. I'm doing everything in my power to protect my safety, to protect my family's safety, and to put a stop to all of these crimes that are being committed against me. My family and I have been subject to so many crimes over the last year. It's been horrible, and I could really use your help right now. Next, the docket that I've been showing says active because this individual is now detained and they have to be extradited before the court date. Their bail was set to a really high amount, and while they may have posted it, the likelihood of that is slim. They're probably sitting in jail waiting to be extradited. Cases like this make a statement for people in the future to think twice before you make a false SWAT call against someone. Think twice before you make a false police call against someone. Think twice before you make false CPS calls against someone, because it's very wrong. It's very grueling and it's dangerous. It puts people's safety at risk. Above all, never make threats to the police. You've got to seriously think that you're untouchable and above the law to make threats and terrorize the police. With that being said, I feel that the $20,000 was worth it. That's where I was at in my life. I felt so helpless and out of control because so many individuals were targeting me and making false calls against me and my family. And it was a very scary experience. Never knowing if a SWAT team is going to show up to your house is not a good feeling. And it's probably not a good feeling for the local police, right? Oh, is this another false call or not? Did someone actually get really, really hurt? You know, it's a really unsettling experience for both parties involved. But again, the link is in my bio on Facebook and Instagram. This is my GoFundMe, and I appreciate everyone who is supporting me. And thank you for allowing me to use my voice in this situation. I don't want to be silenced. I don't want to be shamed for doing the right thing, making a decision to seek legal advocacy to protect mine and my family's safety. Building the legal packets was a very timely process for the law firm. So many attorneys were working on this case, and that's very expensive from my end, where you have a group of paralegals, a group of attorneys, they're building a case, they're corresponding with courts, they're putting facts in chronological order, and it's not just for one person. You know, this is a very meticulous process because there were so many individuals involved. And had I not sought legal advocacy, these people would still be making false SWAT calls. These people would still be making false CPS calls. These people would still be harassing me in restaurants, calling the gym I go to, calling the church I go to, and harassing my family. So even though it was $20,000 and it hurt my bank account, I did the right thing. There shouldn't be a price on someone's safety. But unfortunately, had I not gone about this the legal route, that arrest warrant would still be out there. The case would still be inactive. And these people may have never been picked up. They would have kept hiding. You have to put in perspective, when police see that there's an arrest warrant, that's one among like 100. You know, they could go into the office one day and boom, there's 30 new arrest warrants a week. Police don't have the time to go hunting for every single person with an arrest warrant. But if you get a group of attorneys to go through the courts and accelerate the process, it's more likely that the person will be found and detained. Thank you for watching, and thank you everyone who has trusted me and helped me through this hard time. Also, there are other individuals who may be arrested soon for committing the crimes against me that they did. Each court date is going to be very expensive. I don't know if I can afford for my attorneys to represent me when I go to court. A lot of people are saying, well, why do you think you need attorneys? You didn't do anything wrong. These are not defense attorneys. These are attorneys who are representing me on a federal level, who have professionally put together evidence that they can present at the court when there's a court date. But my bank account is drowning right now. And I really want their help when I go to court because I don't speak the law. And hopefully I'm able to raise enough money to be able to afford those attorneys when I go to court. Otherwise, I might have to just go by myself and try my best. If there's multiple court dates, let's say this person pleads not guilty. Each court date costs me thousands of dollars. And I really need your help right now if you want to be on the right side of history regarding a case that will set precedents in the future for social media creators and live streamers, victim to false SWAT calls, victim to false law enforcement calls, etc. Thank you. Here is why I